Okay, let's get into the locks. Um, I'm still filtering through a little bit. Like I have a number of them written down. I'm going to try to be maybe a little more controlled than I was last week when I sprayed the board with 8 different locks.
Yeah. Come
Not a
on,
bad
Vince.
week for me, but that was a lot.
Right.
Do you have some like figured out? Like what are your
Yes.
locks the week?
Notre Dame will cover 20 and a half against Marshall. It's going to happen. Bounce back game. They're going to take out some frustration at home against Marshall's a good football team. This is not nothing against Marshall. I think for me, this is just the bounce back factor for
Sure.
Notre Dame. I think they come out. I think they hammer Marshall. 20 and a half, just under that 3 touchdown mark. That's a great number. I like it. That's what I'm going with. That's my most confident. I am in on USC covering 9 against Stanford. That's exceptionally low. That is,
right.
It's exceptionally low. I understand that Stanford has a great quarterback. We just talked about it. Give me that all day long. I think USC wins by more than 2 scores. I think it's more like 21. That's where, for me, that's where the line should have been. That's what I would have been trying to. Yeah, if I was an odds maker, that's where I would have set it at. I can't believe it's this low. That's me. And am I being dumb? Maybe. But I was 4-0 last week, so I'm feeling good. And we're going to be rolling. I have that for me is 2. I mentioned the Iowa State game.
Yes.
I have Iowa State covering 3.5. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying they're going to win outright. I think they cover 3.5 simply because I think it's very hard for Iowa to score 3 more points than the opponent. I think that's going to be very difficult for Iowa. So that's number 3 for me. I have a couple that those are my most confident ones. I have a couple still in the hopper, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Oklahoma covering 33.5 against Kent State. I really like Dylan Gabriel. I think he's going to have a really productive year. I think Oklahoma beat a good team last week. It was UTEP, I believe, that they played last week. I think they're going to roll over Kent State. I think they'll win big. For me, that's 4 for me, right? I'm just gonna hold off with the 4. I'm not gonna pull the trigger on Pitt covering the 6.5 or 7 against Tennessee. I'm just gonna leave that one alone. I'm just gonna hold pat with those 4.
Okay. So I think I like all of those. I'm not going to join you on all of them, but I will join you maybe on a few.
Okay.
I'll join you on Notre Dame minus 20.5. My one worry is that there might be a bit of a hangover effect just from the huge game with Ohio State. But Marshall is much worse than 3 touchdowns worse than Notre Dame. Like Notre Dame is just way better than Marshall. If they don't cover this, it's just because they didn't show up, basically.
Right.
This is one they should easily cover. Again, I'm trying to be trying to be smart here. I'm going to take Alabama minus 20.
Okay. All right. There we go.
I'm kind of up on Texas, like figuring it out.
Okay.
Like I still think there's a chance they could win their conference this year. Like I really think there's a chance. I would pick Oklahoma. I think Texas is pretty good. Alabama is a machine. And
Yes.
Alabama will win this game by more than 3 touchdowns.
Yes,
So
they will.
that one feels like a pretty safe one for me. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I know this is not very great podcasting. I'm just trying to be confident here.
I will just say in just a moment of candor, I think Alabama absolutely destroys non-conference opponents in the first couple of weeks. I mean, It doesn't matter who it is. They absolutely destroy them. So, yeah, don't hate it at all. I stayed away from it just because, like, there's a world I can see where, like, there's a couple early touchdowns from Texas and, like, that stadium gets loud and it's hot. Like, I know Alabama's used to heat too, but, like, the noise gets to them and affects maybe some of Alabama's inexperienced receivers. Like, I can see that world happen. It's probably not going to go that way, but that's what scared me away from that number. But yeah, don't hate the pick at all.
All right, the next couple picks here, I do feel pretty good about both of them. They're both just kind of faith in a good offense playing an overmatched opponent. One of those is
Okay.
Miami, Florida. They're playing Southern Miss. Miami's a 25.5 point favorite. I can find somewhere. I'll take them. I just think they're going to cover that even with just their offense. Like their defense doesn't have to be that good. So Miami minus 25.5. And then the other one kind of in that category is North Carolina -7 against Georgia State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, feel free to jump in on that.
No. I'm way more likely to go with the Miami pick than
Okay.
the North Carolina pick. Yeah, I don't mind
Okay.
them. I like the Miami one. That's a really good pick there. I am staying away from all things North Carolina after that defensive performance from last week.
Fair enough. I'm going to join you on USC -9.
Okay, let's go. There we go.
The only thing that gives me pause is just the fact that Stanford always seems to play their best against USC, and USC plays their worst against Stanford.
Sure.
But USC is way better than Stanford, so it's going to work this year.
There you go.
I'm going to take Oklahoma State -11. Hold on one second. Let me pull that up again.
That's a tricky one there. Yeah,
so they're playing Arizona State. I do think that's probably like if it was over 2 touchdowns, I would stay away.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Oklahoma State looked good enough in week 1. I just trust them a lot more than Arizona State.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my last one will be Oregon State -1. -1 is essentially a pick 'em. And I just think they're going to, like there's a way that they don't win at Fresno State because Fresno State is good. I just trust Oregon State a lot, and I think they're going to beat Fresno State. So the last two, the Oklahoma State and Oregon State, those are maybe not as confident as the rest, but yeah. So I was going to be disciplined this week, and I still ended up with 7 locks. So
I know.
And
you gotta stop spreading these around so much.
Hey,
My goodness.
5-3 last week. That's not too bad.
Yeah,
I will mention, if you want to go into sicko mode,
don't. No,
I'm not going to. I'm not going to take this as one of my locks. I'm just saying, if you like playing totals, the Iowa State-Iowa total is 40.5.
Go under.
That's a low number for college football, and there's almost no way it's low enough. Like, go under that.
Go under.
I'm not making it one of my locks, but let's be real. Like Iowa and Iowa State are not going to combine for.
Do we think the Iowa State defense is considerably worse than San Diego or than South Dakota State's defense? No, we don't. We think Iowa State's defense is better than, is it the Jackrabbits? I think it's the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. Yeah. So yeah, agreed. They got a field goal against them. I will say they got a field goal against the Jackrabbits.
The way this goes wrong is like a couple pick sixes or something.
Which is perfect Iowa territory. That's they live to crush our souls. The Iowa Hawkeyes live to crush our souls, especially in the locks. They did it to us last year. It absolutely sucks. I'm the fool because I'm the one coming back for more again this year. So I am on Iowa State. Let's go. I want a little
like
get
that.
back last year. That's right.
Okay. Normally we do our 5 games to watch first before our locks. I apologize, I got that mixed up, but that's okay. 5 games to watch this week. Ashton, why don't you go ahead and share what your 5 to watch are this week?
Well, I mentioned number 1, Florida, Kentucky. For me, it's a clear cut number 1. I love everything about that game. Baylor, BYU is 2. Texas and Alabama 3. I will be going with Tennessee and Pitt at number 4. And I'm going to go with number 5. I'm going to go with the 2 Iowas going against each other. I'm going to round out my top 5 with the battle. Is it the Hawkeye Trophy? What's the name of that trophy?
Cy-Hawk
it's a trophy
trophy.
game. Cy-Hawk Trophy.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
So I will not be taking the Cy-Hawk Trophy game. I respect the rivalry. I don't find it extremely fun.
Okay.
Just I guess I'm more of an offensive fan.
South Carolina, Arkansas for you then?
I'm going to agree with you on your other 4, and then it's either South Carolina, Arkansas, or App State A&M. I think I'm going to go South Carolina, Arkansas.
Going to be a good game.
There's some good games this week, so those will be my 5. And then you also got USC, Stanford. very watchable. So
Sure.
yet another week of good football.
There we go.